The scene begins with a couple carrying a little baby, passing through a dark forest at night. They stop in the middle of the forest and leave the baby in the middle. Suddenly, a witch arrives, who looked at the baby and fell in love with her, and she decided to keep her with her and named her as a Rapunzel. She raises her with loving. The time passes, and the cute girl grows up, having lots of fun living in the forest. Then we see a queen with her son. The queen shows her son a building and tells him that to become a king he must go to this building and pass a test. Hearing this, he promises his mother he will definitely take the test. The prince is trying to climb the building, but since he is still young, he faces lot of difficulties. When the queen sees he is unable to climb, she gets worried and doesn't know how to train him. To tempt him, she takes him to the throne made for the king and says, "If you want to sit here, you must pass this test." Looking at the painting, the prince asks, "Who is in them?" And queen tells him, "When your father was a king, these were his deeds. When you became the king, these will be your deeds." Meanwhile, Rapunzel's mother explains to her that she has to stay home after she leaves and no to go far. Rapunzel insists on going with her mother, but her mother explains it's not safe for her. When Rapunzel refuses to listen, her mother leaves her alone, but Rapunzel secretly follows her. As they approach the palace, her mother realizes Rapunzel is following and gets angry with her. Then a guard comes and asks her to come along, but Rapunzel is not allowed inside. When her mother goes inside, she sees the painting on the wall and has a flashback to when the enemies attacked and she fought alongside the king, helping him. The king had asked her to use her magic power to destroy the enemies, which she did, but in the process the king died. She blamed herself for his death and started living in the forest, only come to the city for the annual feast. The queen arrives and is happy to see Rapunzel's mother, explaining that what happened with the king was just a fate and she shouldn't blame herself. The queen then says, "Now it's your turn to work for my prince." Rapunzel, meanwhile, is enjoying herself and wandering into the lab where the prince is busy with his experiment. Seeing Rapunzel, the prince asks who she is, and she says, "Come, she has came with her mother." They start talking and quickly becomes a good friend. During their conversation, the prince confides that he doesn't want to be king, but his mother is forcing him. He is more interested in studies and experiments, which he couldn't do as a king. Rapunzel encourages him to do what he truly loves. The prince leaves for his training and tries to climb the tall wall. Many people gather to watch. Despite trying hard, he keeps falling. Rapunzel's mother sees this and uses her magic to help him. With her help, the prince finally climbs the building. Enjoying the journey, everyone is happy and apologizes for him. Rapunzel and the queen, with her mother, returns to the palace. The Rapunzel runs off to play with the prince. Gradually, Prince and the Rapunzel become best friends. The prince promises her to visit in the forest. The queen tells Rapunzel's mother she must now support her prince at every step, and she agrees. The queen then calls a guard to bring the magical vehicle, which Rapunzel's mother has used since the death of the king. The queen says, "Now with this bond you will protect our kingdom and not let anyone threaten it." But Rapunzel's mother refuses to use the magical bond, angering the queen, who accuses her in front of everyone of killing the king with her magic, and reveals that Rapunzel is not her real daughter, but a child she took away from her parent by deceit. The queen calls Rapunzel's real parent, who is lying on the queen's order. She says Rapunzel's mother took their daughter away years ago. Shocked, Rapunzel's mother insists she doesn't steal the child but found her in abandoned forest and raised her lovely. She refuses to give up the child, but the queen orders her guard to jail Rapunzel's mother. Seeing this, Rapunzel gets angry and shouts at the queen, who is in rage, has both their hairs cut and throws them in the jail. Hearing about Rapunzel and her mother imprisonment, the prince becomes sad and plans with his friend to rescue them. In jail, Rapunzel asks her mother if what the queen said is true. Her mother quietly admits it. Rapunzel becomes sad and her mother explains everything. "You are not my real daughter, but I love you as my own." Rapunzel and her mother hugs and cries. Meanwhile, the prince seek into the jail, and while his friend is distract the guards, he breaks the lock and makes the Rapunzel and her mother to escape. The guard realizes they are missing and inform the queen, who ordered them to find the two at any cost. Rapunzel and her mother escape far away to the mountains, where the Rapunzel's mother moves a large stone to reveal a secret door. They hide inside, knowing that the queen's guard will be after them. They spend years in this secret place, and Rapunzel grows up to be even more beautiful with her long hair adding to her beauty. She starts learning magic from her mother and doesn't everything using magic. The place is so high up that it's difficult for them to come and go. So whenever her mother goes out, Rapunzel let her hair down to help her up. One day her mother brings magical flower, telling Rapunzel that the queen's guard are still in search for them, making it harder to find the flowers. Rapunzel gets worried and say they shouldn't go out anymore, but her mother reminds her that these flowers are the reason for her beautiful long hair. Meanwhile, the prince is still searching for Rapunzel and her mother with his guards. Rapunzel also misses the prince, but they can't meet. The queen asks her guards about the prince, and they say he is searching for Rapunzel and her mother. This makes the queen angry. The prince's old friend is now queen's assistant, who helped the prince to hide her love for Rapunzel from the queen. The prince tells his friend he is searching for Rapunzel because he loves her and misses her and doesn't want the queen's guard to find them first, fearing the queen will hang them. Rapunzel also misses the prince and wishes to leave the place and live freely. Her mother says she must learn the all magic first, but Rapunzel gets angry, feeling trapped. Her mother saddened, watching her crying, knowing Rapunzel's safety is most important. The prince tells his guard to search the forest and goes to the mountain himself. Rapunzel, thinking about the prince, decides to go outside. She uses her hair as a rope to climb down and enjoy the fresh air in the forest. She sees a beautiful flower and approaches it. Just as the prince searching the mountain finds her, he asks if it's really her, but before she can reply, the guards arrive and ask the prince if he has found them. Hearing this, Rapunzel misunderstands the prince, thinking he came to capture her, and runs away. The prince chases her, but she is fast and returns to her home secretly. Rapunzel's mother returns, and instead of using Rapunzel's hair, she opens the door using the secret lock. Prince, hiding nearby, sees her and realizes Rapunzel's mother has been hiding here to protect her from the queen's guard. The prince returns to the palace as usual. The queen asks if he has found Rapunzel and her mother. He lies, but the queen senses his happiness. Meanwhile, Rapunzel is crying, thinking the prince has betrayed her. The prince tells his friend he saw Rapunzel and knows her location. His friend is happy for him, and together they plan to visit the mountain again. When the Rapunzel's mother leaves, the prince and his friend go to the Rapunzel's home. The prince moves the secret stone and opens the door. Rapunzel, without looking, let her hair down and helped the prince to climb up the window. Seeing him, Rapunzel is shocked. Remembering the prince is supposed to be betrayal, she angrily accuses him of being cheater for imitating her mother's voice to enter her house. The prince tries to explain he came searching for her, not to capture her, and has looked for her every day since she has left. Rapunzel is surprised, and the prince confesses his love, saying he cannot live without her. Rapunzel is happy, but just looks at him lovingly instead of saying anything. The prince tells her his mother is searching for her and her mother. After finally meeting, the lovers are overjoyed. While talking, Rapunzel also confesses her love, making the prince very happy. After spending time together, the prince returns to the palace where the queen is waiting. She asks if he has found them, and as usual, he lies. The queen knows her son has met the Rapunzel. The next day, the prince and his friend go to the mountains again. This time, the queen and her guards follows them. The prince's friends keep watching and warns if anyone has arrived. When the queen arrives, his guard captures Rapunzel. The prince pleads for her release, but the queen refuses. At the moment, Rapunzel's mother senses Rapunzel is in danger and arrives, demanding the queen to release the Rapunzel or face the consequences. The queen refuses and threatens to hang them both. Rapunzel's mother uses her magic to create a strong wind, causing chaos and forcing the guard to release. Rapunzel suddenly releases a power from which she escapes from her body and she vanishes, reappearing at her old home in the forest. The power from the Rapunzel's body blinds the prince. The queen calls a doctor who says the prince will never regain his sight. At her old home, Rapunzel is sad, not knowing what happened to Prince and her mother. Her mother's spirit appears, telling Rapunzel she has died in protecting her and that she must now take care of herself. Rapunzel, devastated by her mother's death, and cries. Despite losing his sight, the prince continued to search for Rapunzel with his friend. They follow the path where Rapunzel used to pick flowers. Seeing the prince, Rapunzel approaches, and her tears fall on his eyes, miraculously restoring his sight. The prince wants to stay with Rapunzel forever, but his friends suggest they can fix everything with a plan. The prince and his friend return to the palace, where a bird sent by Rapunzel arrives. The queen fears the prophecy is coming true, as the bird brings destruction to the kingdom with evil rulers. The queen realizes her mistakes, begs forgiveness, and promises never to do wrong again. In the end, the prince, the Rapunzel, lives happily together, and their lives are filled with